Number one
Primo
back scratcher.
titanium back scratcher.
It's good for all occasions. I scratch everything with this. I scratch my balls with it, everything.
Balls, nose.
I pick my nose with it, scratch my balls with it, itch my back with it. This is my actual prize. This is my actual prized possession right here.
Yeah.
It's good for all number of scratches and itches and scrapes.
Makes a lot of sense.
I do my fish I like a lot too, but I can't scratch my back with my beta fish. So
yeah, okay.
You better like your fish because I got your fish for you.
I like it. Hey, so Pete, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're loud and clear.
Hey, do you have any idea why the flags are flying at half-mast today?
Because someone died.
Was it a congressman?
Geez, these are the kinds of things I should know, really, but I don't know off the top of my head.
Right. I was just curious because when we drove by the flagpole in Frederick, it was at half-mast, and I'm like, that's odd. They forgot to change it. Then we drove by the flagpole in Dacono, and it also was at half-mast.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Because the day before yesterday was Flag Day, you see.
I think today was the day that music died, and so they're just flying them all at half-mast.
Technically speaking, that may be true. All right. Elsie can hear us now.
All right, good. Excellent.
We're going to have to turn the air conditioner off. It's too loud in here with the swamp cooler on for you to hear us.
You might want to move this.
So how's this going?
Oh, it's going good. Now
Noah.
we've got Noah weighed in. That's good.
Hello. We now have a quorum.
We have no video.
Yeah, we have no video.
But that's okay.
Of me?
Yeah, we don't need video of Noah as long as...
because I'm calling in.
Yeah.
It's just your pure vocal pleasure here.
It is. It's audible chocolate, son, is what it is.
How's your electrical apprenticeship going?
It's good. Thank you, Uncle Guy. It's doing good. I'm
going to be a
essentially
residential electrician, are you not?
No, I work mostly industrial.
Oh, but you could fix your dad's electricity.
Technically speaking, like from a qualification standpoint, from a comfort standpoint, not really. I haven't really done a lot of residential. I did commercial when I was working in the hospital.
Apparently,
So I could run the EMT and stuff.
Apparently, if you're in the union long enough, they give you a back scratcher you can use as a beard brush.
And
is that when you become a steward?
You weren't in on the earlier conversation. That isn't the only thing I scratch with that.
Yeah, it's got many uses. 1,001 uses.
Right. Each more vile than the last.
Yeah.
I'm scratching my arm with it as we speak. Pick my nose with it. I can scratch my balls with it. Whatever I want.
Right. Clear out the toe jam. You do it.
Your options are limited only to your imagination.
Exactly. See, Nick gets it.
I gets it. And how?
And how?
Well, shall we get started?
Do that.
Hey, before we do, though, can I ask a question?
Sure.
Would it be possible, do you think, that we could invite a special guest?
No.
Depends on who that special guest is.
It's a guy I work with who actually listens to every podcast.
Oh,
Sure.
God.
Is his name Ben by any chance?
No, it's not. It sure isn't.
Holy shit.
It's a
Is this like
separate
listener
human
mail?
being that definitely does exist.
Because this isn't enough of a sausage party already.
Right, we need one more dude.
Wait, so is he in your
Where's
house?
Sarah?
Sarah's in Nebraska City doing other shit.
Nebraska City stuff.
Yeah, Neb City thing.
Obviously couldn't be bothered with the podcast.
No,
Well,
not
she did
today.
call me, though, and she sends her regrets.
Okay, well, we'll let her slide then.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
So you're going to put 3 of you in that little booth? Is that what I'm hearing?
Oh, God, no.
Well, who's the other third? You think Bradley might join?
No, the guy that you're
the guy,
talking
the
about.
special guest.
Right. He's a leprechaun.
Hey, by the way, you said something about dropping Bradley off at a farm today. Is he dead? Did he die?
Well,
That's right. They put him
Go
down.
spend
It was
some
a
time
bad
at the
time. He's been
farm.
sick for a
Does he
while.
have rabies?
we took him to a farm upstate.
Yes, where he can play with other boys his own age and run and frolic and play.
We're going to go get a new boy at the shelter.
Okay,
sounds about
just making
right.
sure.
No, we're not murdering Bradley. No, he's
You said-
One time I took Kyler to the orphanage when he was misbehaving and dropped him off on the lawn, and to this day he's never forgiven me. And I don't think he ever will.
Well, I've forgiven you for that. The one that I haven't forgiven you for is when I didn't do anything wrong and you were hanging out with your friend Anthony. You drove by a building and you said, "Oh, this is an orphanage. Anthony's going to go talk to the person and you're going to be in an orphanage."
Because you were misbehaving. So
I didn't behave that day.
I'm telling you, you did. I wouldn't just drop you off at the orphanage. If you
no, not like our parents.
These are all heartwarming Father's Day tales. But let's get to it.
Let's do it. Here we go. And welcome. Yeah.
You said that it was a prank.
What was it, Prick?
A prank.
Oh, a prank. Okay, that's.
I thought prick first.
I thought you were calling your old man a prick. That's not nice on Father's Day.
However, they're true.
And welcome to a very special Father's Day edition of A Shinn Show. I'm your host, Pete Shinn. Joining me, several members of the Shinn family, including, but not limited to, Elsie Shinn, spouse, here in the sound booth with me, here in the greater Maryland area. Guy Shinn, brother, and a father as well, and his son Kyler, here on this special Father's Day edition. He's in the greater Arvada area.
Hello.
No? What do you mean, no?
Well, we don't live in Arvada anymore. We live in Frederick.
Yeah.
And I said hello.
Yeah, I always do the wrong thing there. We've got Noah McCone joining us from Gainesville, Florida. Thanks for joining us, Noah. He's a son.
All happy. Happy to join you.
And then we've
Happy
got
Father's Day.
Yeah, thank you. And then we've got the Holy Spirit Nicholas joining us from Omaha. So we've got the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit here today on this special Father's Day edition.
Salam and good evening.
A Shinn Show. Yes, welcome. Welcome. All right, so now that we've gotten that out of the way and we've established that Guy's not a prick, but he was playing a prank, we can move on to the...
And I'm a prick.
Yeah, they're not mutually exclusive.
That's true. You're a prick playing prank. Or wait a minute. A prick playing prank.
Prick.
I can be both.
Look, Nick and Noah, watch out, or you might end up in an orphanage or in a farm upstate as well.
Right, a farm upstate.
Yeah.
So we did take, so news includes that we took Bradley to a distant relative's farm. Actually, not too distant, but
Right.
distant to me because I'm only married into the thing. Anyway, the point is that we took him up there. He's going to work for a couple of weeks. It's a cherry farm and strawberries and tomatoes and, basically your produce type farm.
Snozberries.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. So what is
Is
there?
Rowan's Cherry Farm by any chance?
Yeah, it is. You can see it because although this is a podcast, we're on video to one another. So you can see that we're wearing the Rowan's Cherry Farm shirts. Both of us are.
Because we had to work at the farm ourselves today.
We did.
Doing what?
Oh, so it's close. It's close by to you.
3 hours away. Yeah, downstate New Jersey.
Okay. So what is? So is it just like? How is it that you related to the Cherry Farm proprietors here?
All right.
Is
So
it kind of internment camp situation? There's picking cherries all fucking summer long, or what's the dealio?
How it's my family. I'll go ahead and take this one. So the gentleman who started the farm was the brother of my grandmother. So I am now second cousins with the current proprietor / worker of the farm. So they have all gotten up in age, and the current owner and his whole generation, none of them had children. So they accept all distant family relatives to come work on the farm. I actually worked on the farm myself for 3 summers. It's actually a good time.
Oh, so it's like a family tradition.
It
To go
sure
work on the
is.
farm.
Yeah, and it's close and convenient to Philadelphia. So there's
And as many cherries as you can eat, I presume.
Yes, all the cherries and cheesesteaks you could want.
Nice. Okay.
it's true. In fact, we went to Philadelphia last evening and we compared. There's 2 famous cheesesteak places in Philadelphia. One of them is Geno's and the other one is Pat's. And they're across the street from each other.
Okay.
In the spirit of fairness, I got one at Pat's and ate that. And then I went across the street and got another at Geno's and ate that and compared. I preferred Pat's, the originator, not the imitator.
Brad, however, also had one of each and preferred Geno's.
So so no conclusions can really be drawn.
Which one started first? Which
Pat's
one?
did.
Oh, well, then, and that's the one you preferred.
Just saying that.
Pat says right on the sign, the originator, not the imitator.
It does not. He's full of shit. He doesn't know.
It says the originator on there. It really does. First and original. It says so right on
You
the
think someone would just lie
right.
about something like that just to bring in customers?
I
Not
don't believe
Geno's. Not Geno's.
No,
That's false advertising.
it sounds like fake news, but Bottom line is I preferred Pat's. But it was a narrow thing. I mean, they're both making essentially the same product in different locations, across the street from each other. Yeah, quite good, though. Have you ever had a genuine Philly's cheesesteak?
No, because I've never been in Philadelphia.
Really?
Nope.
Darn.
And I can safely say that with any luck, I'll never go.
Well, here's a well-known myth. Always sunny in Philadelphia? Lie.
Right.
Gets dark there, cloudy. All those things happen.
Yes.
Yeah, they do. So anyway, we had some cheesesteak. We've had some cherries. That's our news of the week. Do any of you have any big news this week?
Big news. No.
Okay.
No, I got sick. I got a nasty cold, and which I am currently on the tail end of. Helped my mom move.
Oh, helped your mom move?
Yeah.
Well, her and her husband, I hope.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like she's moving out from her husband. That would be big news.
No.
No, she's
No.
Where to?
About 2 miles up the road.
Oh, just got a new house?
Yeah. Yeah. Moved her in a day.
Then
It's
congratulations are in order.
Yeah. It was nice.
Yeah, that's a lot of strain on the body, though.
Well, I figured it would help me get over the sickness a little bit, kind of like sweat it out.
You
Right.
know how I like to get over my sickness? I like to give it to everyone else.
Yeah. I've been working hard on that.
And watch everyone else suffer.
That's
right.
thoughtful. That's thoughtful.
Don't you worry about that. I've been licking a lot of eyeballs, been sticking my fingers in a lot of drinks when people aren't looking,
Look, sick days are for doing fun shit. Okay,
Yeah.
you got to go to work when you're sick and give it to everyone.
Yeah. That's been my general policy my entire life.
A good call. Very good. Noah, how about you? Anything special happening this week?
No.
Okay, good. Glad to hear that.
Good.
That's fantastic.
Oh, I learned something cool this week.
What'd you learn?
Fact. I learned that shortly after Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Matthew Broderick killed a woman and her mother in a drunk driving accident and received a $175 fine.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, it's old news.
Yeah, I didn't know that, though, I didn't know that Matthew Broderick killed a lady. and
There's
her
a
mother.
website you can go to, Nick, that shows all the people celebrities have killed.
Oh, nice.
It's pretty cool.
Jesus.
There's more than you'd be surprised how many of them got away with murder.
Being white male and privileged, pretty great.
Or
Oh, that's
just
right.
having enough money for incredible.
Yeah, I don't
Well-
think the white thing has anything to do with it. I think it doesn't matter what color you are. If you have enough money, you can buy the justice system.
Actually, that's a very appropriate remark on the 25th anniversary of the murders of Nicole and.
I was just going to say OJ got away with murder, didn't he? Until.
Why? Because you had enough money. If the glove doesn't fit, you must acquit. Okay,
I know,
Jack.
that's right.
He had a championship legal team. He really.
Hey, what's that website called? Do you know?
I can't remember what it's called. I think it's
I can figure
called
it out.
Celebrity Murderers or something like that.
I'll sleuth it out.
Right. You can.
Something along those lines.
What's that, Noah?
I said something along those lines of celebrity murders.
Yeah. All right. Good. You're probably going to look it up right now, I would think. I'll tell you one
You
thing.
already know.
All right. Good. Got it. Celebrity murderers. Check it out. You know who else killed somebody? Laura Bush. Everyone knows that, though.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It was similar thing. She ran somebody down like a scurvy dog.
Like a dog.
Well,
in
you
the
know,
sun.
that probably pales in comparison to how many her husband killed.
Right. If you count up all the casualties in the Iraq War. Yeah.
I'm thinking almost like genocide there.
Oh, I don't know why I'm laughing at genocide, but I am because I don't think he meant it. That's
Well, it's got its amusing points.
right. If you're not the victim.
That's right.
It's funny if it's accidental. You know what I mean?
Accidental genocide.
Right.
That could be a cool band name right there. Accidental genocide.
Normal genocide. Don't get me started.
Good point. Kyler says don't get them started on normal genocide, but accidental is okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Everyone's allowed one little slip. You know what I mean? One little. If you trip up and genocide somebody on accident one time, shame on you. Shame. You do it twice, then it's shame on. I don't know. You also again. When maybe.
Do it once, shame on you. Do it twice, shame on you.
Yeah, that's right. We're getting to the bottom of this.
Oh, so a little
Today.
little update for you guys on the nature of celebrities who've killed people. So there's a whole list on IMDb, believe it or not.
Oh, an
Of,
IMDb.
celebrities who
Yeah,
killed
that's
somebody.
what,
Yeah.
that might have been it.
That's cool. They got you. Not only do they have their filmography, they can tell you who they've been in all their films, but they can also tell you who they've killed in real
What
life.
they've done.
It's like a little who they've done in.
Is it just time out?
It's like a little
Apparently Snoop
baseball.
Dogg.
Yeah, I don't know how we're
Oh,
going.
yeah.
Ooh, hello.
Yeah, Snoop Dogg definitely killed somebody.
Yeah.
But that was
Snoop
that was
Diggity.
ruled self-defense.
Mm-hmm. They also got the classics, such as OJ, as everyone mentioned,
Yeah.
Matthew Broderick,
Yeah.
Laura Bush,
Yep.
Ted Kennedy.
Shot the sheriff, but didn't shoot the deputy.
Bob Marley didn't kill anyone, though. Not really. All right.
Not Bob Marley, but Snoop Dogg did.
So at what
Snoop Lion.
point did we just cut out? Did we just cut out at a certain point?
Yeah, you did. I saw you like doing a little dance on the video and jumping up and down,
Get down.
pulling tufts of your hair out.
Yeah, it looks crazy. So yeah, that'll probably happen again. Anyway, I'm just glad no one here has killed anyone. Have they?
That we're willing to admit.
Of
what
course
anyone
not.
else knows about.
I would never do something like that, and even if I did, it's not like I would ever tell anybody. But I haven't, so don't even worry about it. All right?
Right. Don't even trip, dog.
Yeah, it's all love. It's all good.
I did. Now I will say this: I did fire a 155 millimeter howitzer in Afghanistan with intent to kill somebody. But I mean, I was firing at a target 16 miles away. So
Yeah.
did I kill anybody? Don't know. I tried. Gave it my best effort, but I don't know if I did.
I tried.
I done tried to kill somebody. But anyway, so that's war.
A surprising name from this list to some of you might be Gucci Mane.
No, that's not. I knew that. He went to prison for that.
He did go to prison for that. I'll be darned. Well, that's good. I'm glad I got
I thought
that.
the charge was dropped. I don't think
Well, he went to prison
he
for
was in
something.
jail.
I know that, dude. He was in prison for a long time. He's still on fucking parole. Like in all his music videos he's making now, he's wearing house arrest monitors in his billion dollar mansion.
It's a sign of
I think
truth
that was
now.
a song.
Like when he went into prison, he was like not a millionaire, but he was far from broke. He was like a thousandaire, you know what I mean? And he left his girl at the time with like $100,000. It was like, I need you to turn this into something big when I get out. And she did. So he had like millions and millions of dollars waiting for him when he got out, started making all these albums and shit, and now he's real rich. Now he's on house arrest in a very nice house. I would love to be on house arrest there.
Yeah,
And
but
not me, buddy.
6'9".
you know the funny part about that?
What?
Immediately after he got out, dumped that girlfriend.
He may have. He should have if he was smart.
Why?
I'm just kidding.
I don't.
I just felt like saying something.
Yeah. Yeah, I something crass because I don't actually know. I mean, they're probably still very happily together. I don't.
Yeah, I'm not even sure the nature of their relationship. She could have been in the stable, as it were. I'm not sure. I don't know.
We don't know. I guess. Anybody have Gucci Mane's number?
No.
That's a shame. I'd like to call him up and ask him, what's the nature of your relationship with the gal that made you all that money?
Let's get him on the pod.
Let's get him on.
Oh, he would love to come.
Who's in charge of celebrity guests?
Right. We'll have to discuss who should be in charge of celebrity bookings off air. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I suppose technically I should be. But
I agree.
do I have to do everything around here?
Well, no,
Yeah.
just get all the famous people on here.
Yes.
And, obviously fund their travel and
You're the most likely
Board.
to know someone famous, so therefore you're the one that's got to make it happen.
Good point.
All right. Well, everyone seems to agree with that. So in the meantime, shall we discuss some of the major news of the week?
Let's do it.
Okay. I don't know what all the major news of the week is. We've got like some interesting things happening in the Gulf of something, like the Gulf of Oman. Persian Gulf. Yeah, that's it. A couple of oil tankers on fire. A lot of dispute about who did what to whom and why. But we know one thing. We're going to defend our interests. So it's kind of like Operation While We're Over There. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. While we're over there, we're just going to go ahead and clean that up and stick some flags in the ground, build some tents and huts and
Right.
establish some radio
Maybe establish
airways.
a few oil wells.
What's that guy?
Maybe establish a few oil wells.
Well, then we've got those. We just need to go ahead and add a few, I guess. This is the interesting thing. The oil that's coming out of the Persian Gulf, we actually don't need much of that oil. Now, Europe needs it in a big way. We're almost energy independent. We're pretty energy independent around here between Mexico, Canada, and ourselves.
And we got Alaska, too.
Yeah. Don't forget Alaska. Don't sleep on Alaska. You know what I'm saying? Alaska
They'll sleep on Alaska. Yeah, they got Kodiak bears and shit there.
Alaska's like a sleeper cell of oil.
It sure is. They got plenty up there. So the point is that, when we're talking about all this hassle with Iran, it's really a threat to Europe's oil supplies, not America's. Not
I
anymore.
know. I saw Britain commented on it.
Yeah, what did Britain have to say?
Britain said they had videos to support the fact that it was whoever it was. I can't remember who they said it was that did it, but
Iran.
Yeah, they have video to support the fact that Iran did it.
All right. Well, way to go. Why would Iran do that? I mean, what's Iran's motivation to sabotage oil coming out of the Gulf?
I don't know. They're because they're petty.
Does anyone have Iran's phone number?
Let's get Iran on the podcast.
Get them on the line and just see if maybe they could clear this up for some of us. I'm sure they would. A lot of people would like to know.
You should know some diplomats over there.
Let me call some Iranians. While I'm the dad, I'll call Great Britain too.
Let's get Theresa May on the line.
Jolly good. Although it does us very little good because she's no longer the prime minister.
Yeah, but now she has time, you see.
Oh, that's true. She does have plenty of
She probably knows things, right?
Well, fuck it. Get her predecessor on the line then. I'm not particular.
David Cameron, her predecessor or her successor?
Either one.
Why not both? Go ahead, just get it all three. Just to be
Get
safe.
them both on the line.
That's fair. I think we should. We should probably get all three. The next British prime minister, the most recent former prime minister, and then the one before that. Get them all together on a panel.
I think we should do it like dating game. People have to guess which one's which. We'll disguise their voices.
Yeah, we'll have them we'll modulate their voices, have them behind curtains.
Like to tell the truth. Like the game show To Tell the Truth.
Yes, yeah.
Behind a curtain and guess which one's which.
That's a great idea. People will love that because people in America are crazy about British prime ministers.
Yeah.
It's a guaranteed hit.
It's all the rage.
It's good thinking right there. So that was one bit of news. So we might be going to war with Iran. More on that to come.
What about Sarah Sanders exiting the White House?
That sure is some news. Wow. So she's going to go spend some more time with, her lies, I guess. I don't know what she's going to do. Yeah, she was
my question is this. How can you tell a lie when you haven't had a press conference in over 3 months?
That's a good point. But from that standpoint, she's nothing but truth. All truth all the time.
Right.
You don't want to tell a lie? Keep your mouth shut. That's good advice for anybody.
That's right.
Right. I heard some interesting things about this isn't in the news though. Let's do all the news stuff first
okay.
All right, well, I've got a news story for you. Do you all know that anywhere from 250,000 to over 1 million protesters took to the street in Hong Kong?
Yeah.
I knew that.
It's been all over Reddit.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it has been. And you know why?
No, I have no idea.
They can Photoshop a whole lot of those like men wrestling on top of each other pictures and pretend it's like celebrating gay pride because that's all I've seen on Reddit about it.
Gotcha. Well, no. So China was trying to pass a new law.
I like it.
What's that guy? I can't hear you. Go ahead.
Did he say it was the Hong Kong Gay Pride Parade?
Yeah, he did. He basically said that. Basically was what he said.
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead, Elsie.
No, that's quite all right.
No, that's okay. So China's trying to pass a law that they can extradite from Hong Kong to the mainland, which is seen as a big breach of freedom because China will just shut down anybody in jail for anything. Part of the whole agreement when Britain gave Hong Kong back to China was that they would keep their freedom. So they're losing their minds collectively over this bill.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, who's really going to stop China? Who's going to stop?
George Trump, what's his name? Donald Trump is. That's who.
I like George Trump. I think he should consider legally changing his name to George Trump.
Listen, George Trump is going to tariff their ass, okay, until Hong Kong's all better, motherfucker.
The end. Thus solving the problem forever.
See how much shit I know about political shit?
You just tariff the shit out of them and problem solved. Eventually, they'll break under tariffs.
Yeah.
In the immortal words of Nacho Libre, they don't think I know a buttload of crap about the gospel, but I do.
Well said, guy. Well said. Noah, you were about to share something?
Oh, George Trump has got to be the most winning campaign name that I can think of. That's the next president right there, George Trump.
Make Trump George again. Hey, speaking of which, you might have a chance. You might have an opportunity to enjoy President Trump not just for one term, not just for 2 terms, but for as many terms as you can imagine. Because President Trump says, "Hey, popular acclaim may demand that he serves more than 2 terms."
Yeah.
Look,
Well, but he can't do. That motherfucker's not going to be alive for 3 terms. That's just not going to happen. He's going to drop dead.
I have a legitimate question for you.
Yeah.
Legitimate question. Why doesn't Congress have term limits?
Why? Now, that's a good question. And the answer is because in the Constitution, it is not prescribed. That term limits are not in the Constitution.
Well, let's prescribe that shit.
Yeah. Let's get the. How do we do
I
that?
got a prescription for that right here in my pocket. Here it is. See?
Well, no one can see that, but you just flipped them off. You flipped off Congress.
Okay, well that's not. I think we should get the Constitution. We should just get it and change it. Like what? That was a movie, right?
National Treasure.
Yeah, National Treasure. That's what it is. What's the fucking guy's name?
Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage. Yeah,
We need Nick Cage to do this for us.
Yeah, let's just hire him in real life to steal the Constitution, amend it, put it back, and then we're good. While we're at it, we might write some cushy pensions in there for us.
I think Vince Neil should be his sidekick.
Vince Neil from Motley Crue or Vince Vaughn?
Vince Neil from Motley Crue. They're pals in real life.
Okay.
I did not know that. Well, he's the one you call Dr. Feelgood. I do know that.
I feel like he would kind of fuck that operation up.
Video of Nicolas Cage and Vince Neil and getting arrested in Las Vegas.
Oh, I've never seen that video. Is that a real thing?
Yes, it is.
Now, Nicolas Cage, I would trust to steal the Constitution, but someone who's drank heroin out of a fire hose when they were younger, I'm not going to put him on the mission. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
But we really want the new one to rock, don't we?
Right. We do want the Constitution to rock.
We'll have him on standby, to put a few new amendments in there. That's how it works. That's revolution, baby.
Yeah, but in all fairness, the 22nd Amendment to the Constitution prohibits presidents from serving more than 2 terms, and that got passed after Franklin Delano Roosevelt got elected 4 times. Of course, that was the Great Depression, and World War II was a different era and all that kind of jazz, but the American people weighed in that they did not want a president to serve more than 2 terms, and in fact, FDR was the only president to serve more than 2 terms because George Washington established the precedent of presidents stepping down after 2 terms, which goes to show you there have been presidents that have kind of disregarded norms, and typically how the American public reacts to that is they have a backlash against presidents who disregard norms, long-established norms. So in the immortal words of President George Trump, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, make Trump George again.
Make Trump George again. That's our motto.
It's going to be
It's going to be great.
It's going to be big.
So that's all the news I've got. Meanwhile, there's been some sporting news. Big week for sports news. Huge. But Nick, you had something else, right, that you wanted to get to after the news?
Oh, yeah. I was just listening to this guy. His name's Ed Calderon. He's a former Mexican paramilitary officer.
So what is he now, American?
He might have American citizenship.
Well, you said he's former Mexican. So now he's currently what, like a Romanian?
No, former Mexican paramilitary officer.
I see. You're not referring to the nationality when you say...
I'm not saying he's a former Mexican semicolon paramilitary officer, right? I said former Mexican paramilitary officer. There was no added grammar in there, okay? And I assure you I would have added it in there if I deemed it necessary, which I did not. Okay? Anyway, this guy, in 2004, he signed up to be a cop. He just wanted to be a cop because he's in Mexico. And he's like, this shit's fucked up. I need to be a cop.
Right.
But the point is, the cartels were out of control. They still are. But that was like the era when they were starting to rise up again.
Right.
Large numbers. And the way he was talking about it, it's an insurgency, dude. It's crazy. The cartels keep getting better weapons, like armor-piercing 50 caliber guns and stuff to pierce through armored vehicles that state officials have. So then the Mexican government has to get better guns. And then they have to get aircraft. They call in, sometimes the cartels will get cars, armored trucks that are either made together like some Mad Max type shit or actual, military grade armored trucks. And they're like, well, we don't know what to do about this except have the Air Force come in and strike these vehicles. But then now some of the cartels have anti-aircraft missiles on some of their compounds and stuff.
Yeah.
And he was like, when I was working for the police, there was one point in, I think he called it Guadalajara, is this part in Mexico. He's riding on a shitty ass road, and it was real bumpy and stuff. And then he gets to a real smooth, clean highway, and he's like, yeah, the guys he was with were like, yeah, the cartel built these highways. Like, they build all these schools and all these hospitals and shit. They invest in these people. You know what I mean? They pay for their schools.
Right, so they won't rat them out.
Yeah, well, so then when they need them, like when their boys get all shot up, they just take them to the hospital and, But anyway, the moral of the story is the way it all sounds like an insurgency. Like, people are worried about ISIS and stuff in the Middle East, but the cartels are joined to us by land, and they're over here in America also. It's kind of crazy how nobody cares. No one's worried about that.
Cartel runs the taco stand right down the street from my house.
Yeah, so why do we have boots on the ground? I mean, I know why. It's oil and money. Those are the reasons. But I'm just saying, it's kind of a blatant disregard for our safety.
Well, it's funny you say that, Nick, because some of what you're saying is part of the basis for President Trump's declaration of an emergency at the southern border, right? Mm-hmm. So he's basically, but the irony of that is that it's not the people who are coming across our southern border are people who are fleeing even worse conditions than you're describing in Central America.
Yeah.
So there's a conflation in America about the situation that you're describing, which is plenty bad, and the situation in Central America and the situation on our southern border. Now, that being said, the situation on our southern border is all controlled by the cartels. They're the people that are running the operations that are human smuggling operations. I mean, the cartels
would you call it a crisis? Would you consider it a crisis? Just out of curiosity, I mean, because you look on one channel and it's not a crisis, and you look on the other channel and it's a crisis.
Well, I'll tell you what he said, and he said, I'm trying to explain to people that they think the cartel is a Central American problem, a South American problem, and I'm trying to tell people that it's your problem now. Like, right now, it's America's problem. They're here already. Like, they're in California. I'll tell you a story that he said in 2008. There's this gang of this cartel, a certain cartel, that would dress up as federal agents in Southern California, walk up to people, detain them, I'm using air quotes, people listening can't see, and then just drag them back down to Mexico for whatever they saw fit. Okay? That's one example. But another example that you brought up, Dad, talking about Trump's immigration policies on the southern border and about the wall being built, this guy, Ed Calderon, talked to a captured cartel smuggler, a coyote is what they call him.
Yes.
And he's like, what do you think about this wall? And the guy said, the wall would be great for business. Making something feel like it's harder when it's not harder. Because the biggest human trafficking and drug trafficking point in the entire world is Tijuana, which is right next to, what is it, San Diego?
San Diego, yeah.
Yeah, it's San Diego.
And they've had a wall there for 25 years. There is a wall in Tijuana already. And that still, Tijuana is the murder, drug smuggling, and human trafficking capital of the world.
I think that we have the technology to stop that if we want. I mean, what do you need a wall for? We got all kinds of infrared. You know what I mean? We got technology that can, that can act as a wall without being a wall.
Well, but to what extent? Like, are you talking about just killing anyone who passes a certain point?
What he's talking about is ISR, basically, intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance. You could have a Gorgon Eye type situation which is staring down at all times on certain sections of the border.
They got technology you wouldn't believe, man. Facial recognition,
but do they have the actual people to go and grab all?
That's where they're lacking, right? They don't have the manpower. Yeah. They have the technology. They don't have the actual manpower. But
right.
But I mean,
till we get robots. And then
Well, I see
need
two
robots.
real possibilities to actually make it better, right? One would be, just to Nick's point, the cartels are investing in these people, and basically whoever's going to make your life not a complete shithole, you're going to be loyal to. So if
yeah.
you actually just invest in these other societies and in these other countries as opposed to trying to militarize against them, holy shit, we might actually solve the problem.
No, you can't do that. That's so corrupt.
Well,
It's so corrupt.
what's funny about that is that's actually what was one of the big issues with ISIS was the fact that in the governments of Afghanistan and Iraq, they weren't giving enough to their citizens, and ISIS would come in and they would actually like make sure everyone had power and water and would even set up their fucked up schools, you know?
Yep, exactly.
And yeah, that's the same reason that El Chapo was so hard to get, because he had a human shield. All these people are like, we don't want to fucking look at that highway that the government built. That's shit. Look at that highway that El Chapo built. Like, we're keeping him safe. We're not going to tell him where he's at.
Exactly. So either that or we got to, really support our Italian friends and bring back the mob to fight the cartels.
I don't think the mob.
It's not a bad idea.
I don't think the mob's got like the shit this guy was explaining. And another great thing that he said is that the Sinaloa, whatever the cartel is that El Chapo ran.
Sinaloa, yeah.
The
Yeah.
Sinaloa cartel, run by El Chapo, who, by the way, in Mexican, El Chapo means the Chapo. Everyone knows that. Anyway,
Yeah. Right. Anyway, so they had these guns with these pistols with armor-piercing rounds specifically to go through the armor that the Mexican paramilitary forces were wearing, and they were sold to them. They were clearly American guns. They would have like accessories on them. He described that only Americans ever put on their guns, like
yes.
Punisher skulls and "I'll see you in hell" inscribed on the fucking,
Yeah.
just things no one else does.
Yes.
So it turns out that they were sold these guns by the CIA, and the CIA's, this is like documented, the CIA's reason for doing this was we were going to sell them the guns, and we had trackers in the guns, so we were going to track the guns so we knew where they were.
Yeah, that was actually the Department of Justice that did that. It was called a Fast and Furious program.
Oh yeah, Fast and Furious. Yeah,
Yeah, it was a big fuck up on behalf of the.
I think it was a bunch of bullshit. I think it was someone who just wanted to make money, selling off the cartels. They're like, yeah, we'll just say that.
Have you guys seen the movie War Dogs?
Oh, War Dogs with
that movie is fucked up.
Josh Hill and
Jonah Hill and
Jonah
Miles
Hill,
Teller.
yeah, with the Jews. It's with the two Jews.
Right.
Jonah Hill's a
Actually, I don't know if Jonah Hill isn't he Jewish? He's always playing the Jews in the movie. Anyway, he plays a Jew in that movie. I play the Jewish guys.
Okay, very good. And who's the other one?
Miles
I don't know. He's a
Miles
bro.
Teller is his name.
Miles Teller. Yes, I'm quite familiar with Miles Teller and his work.
Are you really?
Oh, that movie's fun.
No, but I've
Seen the
heard of
movie.
Yeah, I knew you were bullshitting.
Oh, it's such a good movie. Aren't they riding around like, what was it, Fallujah in that movie, allegedly?
Yeah, so there were, and it's based on a true story. Bottom line is a couple of dudes from Miami ended up selling or trying to sell millions of dollars of weaponry to the Department of Defense, but they were gigantic frauds or something along those lines.
They got
No,
all these,
it was real guns.
yeah, they got contracts, but basically they were picking up the crumbs, right? Because they made it to where essentially the government made it to where anybody could bid, right? So they would take these, they would feed off the crumbs of these other huge contractors that couldn't pick these little crumbs up, and then that's how they got big.
Yeah, terrific. So what
They
was
would fill a lot of their contracts by like buying rounds off of collapsed members of the Soviet Union, stuff like that.
I see?
So basically, these communist states that had built a whole bunch of weapons up, but then weren't going to use them. So like, I think they went to like Bulgaria or something, or Belarusia or something like that.
No, they
They
bought
get a lot of their rounds and stuff.
So how did they? What was their downfall?
Their downfall
the
was
cops
that
got
they purchased these Chinese. They purchased a bunch of Chinese bullets, and they couldn't sell them to the government because they can't get anything from certain countries and sell it to the United States.
True.
So they were over there trying to scratch the name China off of it, off of 10 million rounds.
Yeah, that's going to take some time. That really is. That's not a good use of your time. Well, anyway, to Nick's point, there's a real crisis to our south, right? Between the states of, say, let's just go Venezuela north all the way to our southern border. That entire region is in crisis in many ways. And so the issue is, how do we fix that? you've suggested, hey, maybe we should just kind of roll. There's limits to military power.
Why is it our problem to fix it? That's my question.
I'll tell you why it's our problem, because they're coming. Those bad men who kill entire school buses full of children, who come to officials and say, "Hey, if you don't,"
they're already here, bud. Haven't you seen Better Call Saul? They've been here for years.
Well, yeah, but it's gotten progressively worse over there. They keep getting better weapons and better, more forces. I think it's going to get
that, but how is it our problem to solve Venezuela's crisis, Guatemala's crisis?
Because it's not just Guatemala and Venezuela's crisis, dude. I'm saying it's going to move up here more and more. It's going to get progressively worse here. It's not just going to go away.
Sucks. They're going to start leaving.
Well, no,
dude.
This isn't just going to.
Then.
Yeah, so the bottom line is that all of these people that are leaving these violent situations in Honduras, in Guatemala, in Mexico, they're coming up here by the hundreds of thousands. Now, we can actually absorb hundreds of thousands. We have record low unemployment. We can actually do something with these people if indeed they're willing to work and they have some support. But that being said, it is leaving these countries devastated, and ultimately we're going to end up having to get involved simply because the whole situation is going to require leadership.
We've been trying to get involved for years. What happens is when we give them money, the corrupt people in that government steal the money. So there is no way to just fucking give these guys money and here to solve their problem. Man.
Well, I wouldn't say that giving them money is going to solve anything either. No, but I'm just saying that we've
been giving them billions of dollars for years.
It's our problem too, man, and it's not going to go away. It just ain't. Why would they go? Why would they cease their operations? Why would they ever stop? Why would they not continue?
That's why I think everyone should vote for George Trump or whatever the fuck.
Fix it. I don't know what the solution is, but he's got it. He'll fix it.
Yeah, George Trump. Yeah,
he'll handle it. Yeah. I'm just saying it's fucked up. And another cool thing that an interesting thing was that that first video that ISIS published of the guy in the jumpsuit and they're cutting his fucking head off in the desert.
Yeah.
This dude, Ed Calderon, was like, dude, ISIS got all of that from the cartel. The cartel had been executing people in horrific ways and videotaping it and sending it around the world to people, so they know not to fuck with them. Everything that's horrific about insurgents that we know of in the Middle East, the cartel has been doing and is currently doing on almost an arguably larger scale. Right next to us. They're connected to us by land, dude.
But it's been happening for years and years and years. So what's the outrage now?
Because it wasn't ever communicated and still isn't communicated to the people just how serious and dire the problem is. Everyone thinks that it's more dire, that there's anything to worry about in the Middle East, all right?
And here's what's important as well. The Hispanic population in the United States is dramatically increasing. So the problem is going to become more of our problem very quickly if we don't do something about it. And the military that we send down to destroy everybody still has the same skills to build roads and vaccinate and provide services. So rather than giving money, maybe we just need to go do that shit ourselves because we're well trained to do it.
Yeah.
But just as a story of somebody I
going to pay for it.
They were abandoned,
Elsie is,
right? They were abandoned as a 3 or 4 year old in El Salvador, had to join a gang just to eat and have shelter. And since, came to America and will shit his pants in fear in public if he comes across somebody that's got certain tattoos because he knows that they are honor bound to kill him for leaving this gang and his family. That shit's fucked up.
Well, yeah, and when he shits his pants, it is stinky. I am not kidding you. Oh, my God.
I wouldn't let my kid go to El Salvador, so that would solve the problem right fucking there. Don't let your kids go there, for Christ's sake.
That's good thinking.
Problem solved, dude. Wash your fucking hands. We're good.
Well, I'm glad we had this engaging policy.
Wait. One more thing. An interesting point that he made is what a lot of people don't understand about corruption.
Yeah.
Is that it's not just hey, we'll give you more money. It's that they come to you at night and say, if you don't work for us, we're going to fucking kill you and everyone in your family and the dog. So, you got to work for us.
Listen, even if we wanted to do that, our own government is so corrupt. We couldn't fucking do it.
Not as corrupt as the Mexican government by a long shot, but yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
It's pretty clear, dude. I mean, there's not just blatant gangs running in the street. There's not.
Have you been to the Pentagon? Somebody's.
I actually
hilarious.
have, as a matter of fact. I have been to the Pentagon.
All right, so let's.
It was tense. It was tense. I did feel something.
Wild dogs running around.
Yeah. Anyway, this might be a good place to leave it. And when you've had a long policy discussion and you really haven't gotten anywhere with it, it's time for a relaxing meal at Ziff's. That's right, Ziff's in Invercargill, New Zealand. A relaxed continental atmosphere with a wide menu of delicious items from fresh kiwi to tasty koala bear entrees. You're going to love your time at Ziff's.
Oh,
What?
I'm kidding.
question. Would you try? This is, I want to have a would you try corner every time.
Okay. All right.
Great.
Would you try koala bear?
Heck yeah.
Sure.
Someone slice it up, threw it on a griddle right in front of you,
Delicious.
cooked all the chlamydia out of it, so you don't even got to worry.
Right.
Would
I
you
mean,
try it?
yeah, sure. Why not?
Did you said delicious, guy? That it kind of implies that you have tried it. Is that true?
I've never tried koala, but I've eaten lots of other crap, rattlesnakes,
kangaroo?
rats, shit like that. I've been to McDonald's. Sure, I've eaten kangaroo before.
Where do you think they get the McRib from?
Yeah.
Listen, you don't know what's in that shit. Who knows what the fuck you're eating right out of your fridge?
I know what's in that shit. Deliciousness,
Yeah, see, you do.
satisfaction, and happiness. True happiness from the soul. That's what McDonald's gives you. You know that feeling you get when it feels like you got maple syrup for blood after you just ate 3 double quarter pounders? That's happiness.
That's sure.
You just sit back and let that happen.
Agreed, said the little man.
Right. So,
Koala.
yeah,
what's for
yeah, koala meat. That's pretty much it for this week's
Well-
section.
Have you ever eaten chihuahua?
I haven't. I would try it though,
How about sea turtle? How about endangered sea turtle?
dude. I'm just. You don't want to ask me because my answer is always going to be yes. I would try it. I'm going to try a little bit.
I mean, look, it's already dead, right? It's not like they're killing it for you to try it.
You don't know.
Well, whatever situation you want it to be, so that you can justify tasting it. But would you taste it?
The only reason I asked that is because a Chinese lady got busted in Miami Beach stomping sea turtle eggs.
All right. Well,
Oh,
would
that's a
you
big time
eat,
fine?
Would you eat human?
Yeah, I would try it for sure.
In the right conditions, yes.
Yeah, it would have to be cooked so that I don't get any mad cow disease.
If the Brady Bunch crashed in the Andes and you were on the plane with them, who would you eat first?
Marsha.
Cindy, young meat's always softer.
That's
Marsha, because that's the only one I know.
The correct answer is Alice. But if you're smart, you'll ask her how to prepare herself best before you devour her.
actually. So I've got a whole bit about nobody knows, for example, how Mike Brady's first wife died, and my contention is that he murdered her ass. That's my contention.
You know what? I would like propose that we have a Brady Bunch expert on the podcast. I happen to know one.
Yes, do you? Who?
Yeah. Her name's Shelley Justice. She's seen every episode of the Brady Bunch that's ever been made, and I'm pretty sure she could answer your question.
Well, I'd like to know that. It's not a question. It's a theory. It's an operating theory that Mike Brady killed his first wife.
Yeah, it's not provable, but it's not
Are
unprovable.
any of the cast members alive?
Yeah, sure. They're
You know
all.
what? Let's get the cast of Brady Bunch on the
Yeah,
podcast.
Does someone
Okay?
have Brady Bunch's phone number? Can we get their
That's
manager
who we
online?
need.
Yeah, let's get them all. Let's get them all.
I do wonder how much money
The
they
whole
all
crew.
have. You think they're still sitting pretty or what?
No, Doug.
So I just recently learned that there was such a thing as the Brady Bunch Variety Hour. Oh my God, you've got to YouTube that shit. It's awful.
Yeah, we used to watch that when we were kids. This was actually probably before you could have any memory, Guy, but the Brady Bunch Variety Hour was a thing. It was terrible. Very
I
bad.
remember.
Hey, you know
Vividly.
what? There's a cool documentary I just watched on YouTube. It's about the Amazing Jonathan. Do you guys know who the Amazing Jonathan is?
I have heard that name before. Yeah,
He's a comedian who's also a magician. I saw him when I was
That's
a kid
cool.
on Comedy Central. Oh, it's
Cool.
really cool. You'd like him a lot, Kyler. I think you should watch it. You should convince your old man to let you watch it. But there's he's called the Amazing Jonathan. But there's a documentary on YouTube. The whole thing. It's like an hour and 13 minutes long.
Nope.
Free 99.
I'd rather eat.
Bugs.
Yeah,
They're
it's-
$8.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't recommend you watch the documentary, Kyler, if you haven't seen them yet. But you should see The Amazing Jonathan, laugh your ass off, and then watch the documentary because it's pretty heart-wrenching.
oh, gee, that's sad.
Pretty
Well,
fucked
Yeah.
up there at the end.
meanwhile, it's time for sports. And so in sports this week, 2 championships occurred. The St. Louis Blues won their first ever Stanley Cup, defeating the Boston Bruins in 7 games. And the Toronto Raptors, go Canada, right, Noah? Yeah. I don't know what you did just there, but man, it sounded like some sort of celebration. Anyway, they defeated the
It was a
Golden
woo.
Warriors.
You got a woo.
Warriors in five games. Golden State, and Golden State has won like 3 of the last 5 championships. So
Podcast, I have to make an important call.
yeah, he's got to see a man about a horse. So anyway, Kyler's got the stick now. Bottom line is we ended up with 2 new champions: the St. Louis Blues hoisting the Stanley Cup, and the Toronto Raptors also won their first ever NBA championship.
Can I just say I'm very confused, though, that it's the National Basketball Association with a team in Canada?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Same thing with the NHL. It's the National Hockey League with teams in both Canada and the U.S.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
Well, you can't have hockey without Canadians. I mean, that's kind of not negotiable.
Yeah, that's true. You got to have
I
them.
mean, I agree. completely.
Did we talk about UFC last week?
No, we didn't. Now you guys went to Chicago, and oh, by the way, my prediction on Anthony Smith came to pass almost exactly. I said it would be a.
No.
I knew you would argue with me.
Not even close, bro. Not even fucking close.
You fucking won. That's close.
No, you said he would starch him in the 3rd round.
I
That's
did.
not what happened. He did not starch him by any sense of the word.
Yeah, but he submitted him in the 4th round. That's
He
pretty
submitted,
close.
dude. No, you can't. When you say he's going to knock someone out cold in the 3rd round, how is that close to he choked him out in the 4th round? How is that?
Here's how
He
it's
won.
worked.
That's it. That's the only way that you were similar is that he won.
If he hadn't tapped, he'd have choked him unconscious, wouldn't he have?
Yeah. Do you know what getting starched means? I feel like you don't know what that means, and that's why you're trying to argue like you were close. Because you weren't.
You weren't arguing that Anthony Smith was going to win at all. I said he would win. And
You're right. I said it would win. Gustafson would win via decision, I think. Is that
Yeah.
what I said?
And the point is, I'm closer than you to what happened. That's,
Yeah, you are closer than me, but you're not close. Just let's make that clear.
yeah, let's just make it clear that you're kind of a sore loser. I think.
Well, you're just wrong, is all. That's not anything more or less than that.
All right.
The expert's theory is that Mike Brady's first wife died of cancer.
Right. That's
But that's not as fun, though.
no. I think Mike murdered her. I think
Yeah.
pretty quick.
That's probably what he told life insurance is that she died.
Okay.
I mean, and in fact, my own view is that Mike Brady was a stone cold fucking killer. I mean, he lived in Southern California, same time as the Manson family. Number of unsolved murders in Southern California in the early 70s. Still to this day, has Mike Brady ever been charged? No, he's not been charged. But I mean, has he ever been cleared of those crimes?
No,
Right.
being wanted and being wanted for questioning are 2 very different things.
Right. You can neither confirm nor deny.
All right, so cancer. Cute. That's cute.
How
Cute.
convenient.
We don't know. She doesn't actually know. She just said that posited that as a theory.
Yeah, well, see, so I think my theory has every bit as much validity as hers.
But back to the point we were making. That wasn't the event that I went to. That was in Switzerland.
Oh, I see. I got it. And you?
I went to Chicago.
Okay, got it.
Where the main event was Henry Cejudo versus Marlon Moraes, and the co-main event was Valentina Shevchenko versus Jessica Evil Eye.
Yeah, and Shevchenko knocked out the Evil Eye with a head kick, as I understand.
Oh yeah, now that was brutal, dude. That was nasty. She put her to the shadow realm, and she was sitting there laying unconscious for 45 seconds. Everyone was cheering, and I was like, shouldn't we wait to see if she's okay before we start cheering? I think she might be dead. And then when she stood up, she sat up.
Yeah.
She was looking around. The camera was right there. I could see her mouth the words, "Did I just get knocked out?" And they were like, "Yeah, you've been knocked out for almost a minute straight now." That shit was brutal.
Yeah.
But what wasn't even a main or co-main event, which is bullshit because it was only 3 rounds, and which was the fight that everyone came there to see, was Cowboy Cerrone versus Tony Ferguson.
And Cowboy Cerrone had his nose busted.
No, well, what happened was, and let me just make a note, that during the whole, I was there from the very first fight to the very end, and the arena was never louder besides when Tony and Cowboy were out there. That was the fight that everyone wanted to see, despite it not being the main or co-main event.
So they got it on.
Yeah, so they got it on. Now, what happened was, a lot of people were pissed saying, now, I was rooting for for Cowboy Cerrone, but I love Tony Ferguson too, but I wanted Cowboy to win. But what happened was Tony Ferguson hit Cowboy Cerrone after the bell in the first round. But he was like, it looked at first like he hit him after the bell on purpose, but he was in the middle of a fucking
swing.
He was in the middle of a combo. And, they're both swinging at each other. You can't always hear the bell immediately. Like, it was all good. Now, what happened is he broke Cowboy's orbital socket, and Cowboy, as he's walking back to his corner, he blew his nose, which is a rookie mistake. So when you blow your nose and your eye's busted, it swells it shut because it forces all the blood to your eye. And he said as much. So he goes back to his corner, and then he turns around, and he cannot open his eye. It is swollen shut, dude, tight. And so the doctor's looking at it. This is going to be the third round. Fucking Tony Ferguson's in the corner, just getting fired up. And then the doctor's like, no, I'm not going to let him keep fighting. Yeah, the ref calls the fight. Everyone was pissed. I'm going to be real. At the moment, it kind of ruined my entire night because I was like, dude, what the fuck? I want to watch these guys. And they both still wanted to fight. Cowboy's like, I don't care. I'll still fight him. And Ferguson wanted to fight. Everyone was booing. Tony technically won. But even when he interviewed him, he's like, this is not how I wanted to win. Fucking, run it back. We'll fight again.
Yeah.
So this is a win for Tony, and he will now get the winner of Khabib and Poirier.
Well, why not rematch him?
Well, that's what Dana was saying he was going to do. Dana White said he was going to rematch it, run it back, and
make it a main event. Make it a 5-rounder.
I would love nothing more than that. I want it to be a main event, even if it's just a co-main event. Just make it 5 rounds because it's for the interim, or it's not for the interim belt, but the winner of this gets to fight the winner of Khabib and Poirier, which is going to be Khabib, obviously.
Obviously.
I mean, I love Poirier, but dude, Khabib's a fucking monster.
Yeah, Khabib Nurmagomedov.
Khabib, we all saw. I don't know if we all did, but Khabib wrestle-fucked Conor McGregor until he almost lost his lower jaw. Okay, and won. And Conor McGregor kind of beat the fucking brakes off Dustin Poirier way back in the day. Now, Dustin Poirier is a lot better than he was when he got beat by Conor McGregor, but dude, Khabib is 27-0, man. He's undefeated. He's a nasty Sambo wrestler from goddamn Dagestan. So, and they're doing it in Dubai too. Like nowhere, all the chips are stacked against Dustin in this one.
I think we should fly out and watch it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Dubai's a great town.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know about that.
No, it's fine. What's the worst?
As long as you don't have a couple of beers in the stand.
Yeah. You got to be careful in Dubai. Sure. I mean, you don't want to run afoul of the Crown Prince. I can tell you that. I mean, it is a surveillance state. But if you behave yourself, Dubai's a great town. Yeah. Just terrific. Anyway, so you know how we could fly out there, though? How we can finance that? From all the revenue from our sponsorship from the Throne Room Tattoo. Yes, the Throne Room, also in Invercargill, New Zealand, also a fake sponsor of a Shinn show for more than 100th of a century. Go get yourself a tattoo at the Throne Room.
Oh, also, I kind of neglected to mention the main event, Henry Cejudo versus Marlon Moraes, in which Henry Cejudo won the belt. So now he's champ. There was champ. Now he's champ. Well, not in the UFC. He's an Olympic gold medalist for wrestling.
Yes.
Champion at 125, now champion at 135, and he wants to go up to 145 and do that too.
He's a bad man.
He wants to have 3 UFC belts. Of course, he would be the first one to do it. I still fucking hate Henry Cejudo, but he did beat the shit out of Marlon Moraes. So. All
right, very good. And you saw it live.
I saw it live. I didn't want it to go down like that, but that's the way it went.
So is it better to see it live than on TV, or is it better on TV?
It depends. If there's someone there that you really like, that you really want to see fight, it's obviously better live, dude. But, I don't know. It was great seats. We were like real close. We could see
Cheaper to
everything
watch it
right
on
there.
TV though, right?
Definitely is nice. Like it's not a $12 beer. That's for sure. If you want to crack a beer while you're watching it, it's not going to be $15. Or if you want,
At
dude,
your house. At your house, it's not going to be. Unless you're at my house, then I'm going to charge you $15.
yeah, right. Naturally, yeah. So you don't want to if you don't feel like driving 9 hours, paying $15 for a bottle of water and or beer and fucking $25 for a little box of popcorn, then yeah, don't go see it live.
Okay, that's good advice.
But I wanted to see Cowboy Cerrone, and when we were there, the place came alive, dude. It was cool.
All right, awesome. Well, good
But
deal.
if you just want to watch some fights, if you're a filthy casual, then yeah, just stay at home.
All right, so hey, did anybody see any movies or anything this week? Anything like that?
No.
I reviewed all of the Harry Potter movies.
You really? You rewatched all the Harry Potter movies? That's
I mean, I was taking notes while I was doing it. But yeah.
Have any of you ever seen the show Wayne?
Well, wait a minute. Before we get to Wayne, Kyler, I think we need to get a review from Noah of all of the prior Harry Potter movies.
Sure.
Yeah,
Were they any good?
they all
All right, good. Good review. All right, now on to Wayne.
It's a great show.
Wayne is a show about a kid. Well, not really a kid. He's a teenager.
High school kid.
He's a high school kid, and he is trying to find his dad's car. His dad died. It's just a really interesting show. I don't know why.
Okay, is it on Netflix?
It's
Yeah.
on YouTube Red.
It's it's YouTube Red.
Watch the first episode for free. I enjoyed it as well.
Yeah, me too. It was really good.
I
You know
have
what I
YouTube.
watched that you told me to watch, Guy, that was fucking phenomenal still? I've been watching Animal Kingdom.
Isn't it great?
That show is, oh, yeah, it's good, dude. It's
Yeah.
crazy. It is crazy. It gets real turned up.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is it? Is it animals in their kingdoms?
No, I'm absolutely positive we've had this exact conversation before, but I'll tell you again. It's about this family of people. It's like the grandma, or the mother, she's like the matriarch.
Yeah,
and she sends all her sons on these crazy jobs to
Is
these
it called
that-
Animal
It's
Kingdom?
actually based off a true story about an Australian woman that actually ran a crime syndicate with her children.
Yeah, but is it called Animal Kingdom?
Yes, the movie is called Animal Kingdom.
It's the show.
Australian movie is called Animal Kingdom.
Oh, there's a movie too.
Yeah, the Australian movie. I forget. I think it was from the 90s or something. They made that movie. It was a great movie, and then they remade this Animal Kingdom here, AMC or whoever did it, the show, and it's a good show.
It's got like Ellen Burstyn in it, doesn't it, or something?
Ellen Birkin.
So basically, you're saying it's like a show about animals, right?
They're animalistic, you could say. They got guns, animals with guns and drugs, I suppose.
I just want to sear this in so that we can have this conversation again. I really want your dad to remember it as being animals.
Yeah, I do, because when I hear Animal Kingdom, I think it's like one of those Netflix Blue Planet, watching the
I'm
pet.
sure there
like
has been.
Mutual of Omaha, Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, Mutual Omicron.
No, it's a crime show. It's a good one.
I've been rewatching Wilfred. Wilfred's an awesome show, dude. I love that show.
You love that show. It's about
It's got Elijah Wood, right?
yeah.
It's got Frodo in it. Now, when I was younger, it was on Netflix, and they only had the first 2 seasons, and that's all I ever saw. But on Hulu, they have all 4 seasons. So
Hey.
I'm rewatching it.
And speaking of Netflix, guess what has migrated to Netflix? Rick and Morty, dog. So
Oh, really?
I've been rewatching Rick.
About time.
Yeah, well, guess what? Hulu still and always did have that, so.
What? It's on Hulu also?
Yeah, dude.
Mhm.
I don't know. Check it out. It might not be on there.
No, it is. It is.
Is it
It's
on there
really
right now? You don't know.
Yeah, no, I do know.
All right.
I see it all.
Tatum Channing style. I know everything. God damn it.
Well, not everything, but whether or not Rick and Morty's on Hulu, I definitely got that down pat for sure.
22 Jump Street style.
So I'm going to head back to sports for a minute to say we should observe a moment of silence for the passing of Pat Bowlen, the longtime owner of the Denver Broncos.
Yep.
Good one.
Yep. This just in. Pat Bowlen still dead.
Oh, so
Yeah.
wait, when did
Been on
this
the
happen?
news for a
The
while.
question is, does he know he's dead? I mean, he had Alzheimer's for how long? Maybe
Who knows?
he still thinks he's alive out there somewhere. But
might.
I watched the second season. Wow, that's the word. Season of Sneaky Pete. Anybody who hasn't seen it yet needs to get on that shit.
No, I haven't seen it.
And that includes me. I have not seen it. Oh, and we are down to the last 7 episodes of Sopranos out of 85. So we're getting there.
What happened to your special guest?
Hey, he blew me off, dude.
Yeah, it kind of seemed like you were going to call him on the phone there.
No, I was going to invite him to the meeting, but he, I mean, in fairness, he's busy. He just moved into a new house, but
He probably didn't want to be associated, like have his voice on this.
I couldn't say as I blame him. He actually listens in secret. Thanks, Chris.
A shout out.
Now you're gonna have to bleep that out and post.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, I won't though. Yeah, you're outed, Chris. You're outed.
Speaking of that,
No, we just don't want to reveal your. I'm looking out for your best interest, Chris. All right, me. No one else here gives a fuck.
We're out. See you guys on the next one.
You're out of here.
Signing off.
Hey, happy Father's Day. Well,
Happy Father's Day, Uncle Guy.
all right, we'll see you. All right. Well, since Guy's leaving, maybe we should wrap this up.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, hey, real quick on a sports note, just one other sports note, which is that congratulations to the women's soccer team for beating Thailand 13-0. I saw part of that game. They whipped ass. They did not care.
Good.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said good.
USA.
Yeah, USA. So there. You know what, though? I've lost my harmonica. Did I put it away? Where's my harmonica? Anybody know?
If it was up your
Damn shame.
Swear to God, I was just gonna say that, Elsie. You took it right out of my mouth.
sorry. It had to be done.
It's okay. He teed it up for you. You knocked it out of the park.
Hey, good news. I found it. Guess where it was?
Up your ass.
Where else? Same place it always is.
On the planet Myanus. Okay, anyway. A Shinn Show is a production of Shinfluence and features the voices and opinions of the Shinn family, which are entirely and exclusively their own. It's brought to you on a fake basis each week by Ziff's Fine Dining in Invercargill, New Zealand, and by The Throne Room, Heavy Tattoos in Invercargill, New Zealand as well. Both fake sponsors of A Shinn Show for more than 100th of a century. And also brought to you by our one binge listener, Ben, with a shout out to Chris. Join us next week, won't you, when we'll hear Nick Shinn say...
Applesauce. I tried to find a way to work AIDS in there somehow, but I already said apple AIDS. I could have said that.
All right. Anyway, have a great week. It's good to talk to you. I love you.
Love you too, Dad. Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day to you and to everyone who might or might not be listening. You don't have to listen to be wished Happy Father's Day by me. I still did it.
Thank you. That's nice of you, son. And by the way, Happy Father's Day to all of the children who are not on this podcast.
Yeah, but you're the only one on this podcast aside from Guy who's a father. So
Right.
Yeah, well, that's true. I'm just wishing Happy Father's Day to all of my other children, whether they know I'm their father or not.
Oh, okay. All right. That makes sense.
The ones we don't know about.
Right. I mean, there shouldn't be many of those. I think Noah's the last one, but who can be?
Oh, wow.
You never know.
Who can be 100% sure? It's hard.
All
Why
right.
are the kids getting wished Happy Father's Day? That's my question.
Yeah, that's kind of what I said, dude. I was like, only fathers. That's for them, but whatever.
Anyway.
Although you
Very
also said
confused.
Happy Father's Day to everyone listening, and I was kind of like, maybe.
No, to the fathers who aren't listening.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that's good.
And that's why, that's why I said you don't have to listen to be wished Happy Fathers. All those fathers who don't know that I'm currently wishing them Happy Father's Day, they're still getting wished Happy Father's Day. That tree is still being directed towards them.
That's good.
Except you piece of shit fathers.
Yeah.
You're not included.
Fuck you guys, and you know who you are.
Well,
Even though you're not listening, because there's no possible way you could know that I'm saying this, but I'm still saying it. So that tree's being directed.
I don't know. That could also be directed at me in certain situations. So sorry about that. Anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, remember when
Everybody say you love him.
He said you know who you are. All right. I mean, that's
it speaks for
it's
itself.
self-deterministic.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so if you want to make that distinction, that's on you, dude.
That pump, yeah.
That's on you, bro. I'm just throwing it out there. You made the distinction. I ain't say nothing. I don't know nothing about nothing, all right?
I should have left it at "I love you, Dad." I should have left it there, shouldn't I?
That would have been nice. That would have been sweet.
Yeah.
Put a little bow on it.
Yeah. Well, all right.
You know, we like to ruin nice things. It's
We
just fun.
sure do. It's what we do. All right. See you next.
Family tradition.
Love you.
All right. Love you. Bye-bye.
Love you, people.
All right. So I'm gonna hang
You
up now.
gotta go hang up
I
now.
got it.
All right, bye.
This mouse
Let's
is
just say
nice.
bye and hope it hangs itself up.
Sometimes I don't get off. I just listen.
Exactly.
I just sit
Breathing
here.
heavy.
Just checking. Just surveillancing you.
All right. Love you. See ya.
All right. Love you. Bye.